The sound of the final buzzer means it's hangover time. So grab a drink and join your host, Alphonse Sidney, for a Miami Heat Beat post-game show.
Hey everyone, welcome into Stream Beat. We're going to discuss Doctor Strange 2, entering the multiverse madness, whatever the fuck it's called. I thought, if you don't want any spoilers, log off now, because I'm going to get with all the Easter eggs and all that other
let's
good
get
shit.
into it.
Oh my God, there was a Superman was in it, fucking the Flash,
Goku,
Sam, they were all in that motherfucker, just running around like assholes. Anyway, Heat lose. Welcome into Miami Heat show. Hangover time. I'm Alphonse Sidney, aka Alf954. Listen, man, it's the playoffs. This is like y'all got to be more hard body than this. Like this is the playoffs. the Sixers won 2 home games. All right, the Heat won 2 home games. Like this is, we can do all our analysis. We can fret and we can. But, like, y'all just got to get some guts, man. Like, the series is over. Shit, calm all that shit down. They're going to go back in the lab. They're going to figure it out. The offense was better tonight. They got to figure out the defense. You're going to go back home, and, you know, some of these guys ain't going to hit from 3 like they hit in Philadelphia. Take me out, Brass. Listen, I don't got no rant. Like, I don't got no rant. Like, this is, like, every year. Okay, my only rant is this. I'm not even going to really rant. Every year we forget how the playoffs go. Like every year. Like we have memories of fucking goldfish. Like we really do. Like we forget. Like this shit happens every year to every team. It happened earlier today to the Phoenix Suns, who all of you guys would say, oh, that's the best team in the league. It happened to them. A great player, MVP caliber, Luka Doncic, right? They got James Harden on the Philly side. They got Joel Embiid. Like, listen, this shit happens. The reason you are a 1 seed is so you can have home court advantage throughout the playoffs. Now, if we go into Game 5 and the Heat lose that motherfucker, panic time, right? But if they don't lose, if they win that game, now you're up 3-2 headed back to Philly, right? And that's the most front-running fucking team of all time. Listen, they might fold, or you might come back to Miami for a Game 7. Either way, this is the playoffs. This is how it goes. You think every fan in Phoenix is fucking panicking right now? Yes, they are. You want to know why? Because we have memories of goldfish. Brass, let's find out what everybody's drinking. Someone says we're way too positive. You know, it's not about being positive.
What the fuck does that even mean?
You haven't even said anything positive. You just said calm the fuck down.
It's real. First of all, this shit don't affect your. It's realistic. Being real fucking realistic. Okay? The Sixers won 2 games in Philly. They are a 4 seed. The fucking who the fuck is the Mavericks just won 2 games in Dallas. Like this is the way shit goes sometimes. Like. Bro, nut the fuck up.
Like what do people want us to like? So let's say worst case scenario. Let's say the Heat like lose these last 2 games or whatever it is. Are we gonna regret having fun, enjoying our team? Like what is people's end games when they go with this y'all being too like? What does that even mean? Like I want to know what too positive even fucking means. I don't get it.
It means like we should just be fucking miserable. We should get up here.
They want us
trash.
They want us crying, like literally crying.
Like, listen, bro. Like, I got too much shit going on in my life to care this. I care. Like, listen, I'm a fan. I care a lot, but I'm not going to sit here and start bashing the team. I have been watching and bigging up all season. I'm not going to start shitting on Bam and Gabe and all these fucking like why. Eric the Great, I know it was a joke. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
shit happens,
it's good
shit happens a lot
right
on the. It
happens
happens a lot on the timeline. Listen, you know what, Brass? Let's find out who kicked our ass. Fuck this. What are we drinking? Shit. We're drinking our own fucking tears. Is what we're drinking.
Okay.
Brass is like, thanks for the fucking curveball.
Thanks for the fucking heads up, asshole.
Yeah, right.
They kicked our ass.
The lounge music was just getting to me. I was just like... Anyway, Kenny, who kicked our ass tonight? There's only one real name to this shit. Go ahead.
I'm not giving that fat ass. who kicked our ass is everybody. Well, Kyle Lowry's one of them, but everybody not named Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. Tiff showed us a box score in chat, and goddamn, those dudes had no help whatsoever. I think Vic was like 3 for 9, which I'll give him the injury excuse. Kyle, he's hurt. He probably shouldn't be playing, but what option they have? Because Gay has been sucking too. Fucking Tyler didn't bring it. It's just a lot going on. I don't understand 2 games in a row where you can't hit a shot to save your life and Duncan doesn't see the floor. It's a little weird. So, hey, I don't know, but everybody not named Jimmy and Bam kicked our ass tonight.
Bond, who kicked our ass tonight?
You know, I'm gonna just go ahead and say, I'm gonna give it to Joel. And I know everybody has feelings about him, and I have feelings about him. I've always had feelings about him. He's rectified some of those this season. Still left a lot of those on the table. Still does a lot of bitch shit, but like the idea that he wasn't going to be a monumental, change in trajectory of the series, and not necessarily trajectory, but definitely speed. Like wherever we thought we were going to get at the end of this series. The idea that I don't know if it was kept in proper perspective what that type of piece does for what he does for that group. So I'm gonna give it to him. Miami was had a hell of a time trying to defend him. They didn't know if they wanted to front. They didn't know if he wanted to double. We were fronting him all the way up at the free throw line, opening up a shit ton of space. Like he does a lot for them, and so I'm gonna give it to him.
Listen, I thought they actually did a good job on Joel, even without like a Deadman, a big. Like they did a good job even when they went small. Like when they went small and Bam got in, Bam was in foul trouble in that second half in the third quarter. That's when they went on their run. It was a lot of small guys fronting and doing a really like they did a good job on Joel.
And that's only because Joel's a bad post player. If Joel were a better post up player, he should have. What did he finish with tonight? Joel should have finished with at least 8 more points tonight.
Well, the one thing in my opinion, the reason you send doubles and you send help at Joel is because he can't pass. He is not a good passer out of the post. Like I remember the days of watching Shaq. You know, you send a pass into Shaq, he gets doubles. He finds an open 3-point shooter, or he reposts and gets the pass back. Joel was posting up Gabe Vincent at the free throw line, right? And they called some bullshit fouls on Gabe. I'm not even gonna get into that. But it was just weird. Anyway, Brass, who kicked our ass tonight?
3-point shooting again. We are 14 of 65 from 3 these last 2 games. You can't win these fucking games when you're that cold. And again, plenty of open looks. Philly is obviously a far better defensive team than Atlanta was because Atlanta's dog shit. But still, you cannot get those. You cannot have those open looks and shoot so fucking poorly. You're not going to win any of these games. And now I do think that is going to make that's certainly playing for a home crowd. I expect that to be better. They played better tonight than they did last time. There's no question, but. Yeah, I mean Harden obviously he started going off in the end, but I don't want to give that fucking asshole any fucking credit.
He put us to sleep. Us to sleep.
Yeah. I don't know.
Sorry. Go
just sucks.
Go ahead,
Shit.
Kicked our ass tonight.
Kyle and Tyler kicked our ass. The saying is
okay. I'm gonna say my Kyle thing. He's playing hurt, and he had the best plus minus on the team. The offense was only clicking when he was in. I want y'all. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Frankie. I'm not gonna step on your who kicked our ass.
I was gonna say Kyle's hammy, his inability to be at least 80% because he wasn't aggressive.
Honey baked hamstring.
Yeah, it's from years of carrying that wagon. It's taking a toll on him. Those hamstrings are fragile right now, and him just not being able to trust it and go up strong for layups. Obviously the over 6 from 3. they didn't lose because of him. Tyler needed to step up a little bit more. He had an awful shooting night, just passing up open looks, dribbling into open jumpers and missing them. Couldn't get anything going. And you need your star players. Like Bam had a decent game. Well, had a good game, 9 for 12. Got the foul trouble slowed him down. Jimmy obviously was amazing. Tyler needs to be better, flat out. Needs to be better. Needs to be more decisive. They've done a really good job getting him uncomfortable, mixing up the traps and the switches and the hedges. And he's just looked like a shell of himself right now. He'll be better next game. They're at home.
Even with that, Frankie, Tyler's just making poor decisions. Even when he has space to be decisive with whatever the fuck he wants to do, he's not making the proper decision. And so, like,
missing open guys, hesitating. He's missing open teammates. He's hesitating on open looks.
Teammates and like getting caught up in the air with like what to do next. Well, motherfucker, you just the pass was there, the option was there. Like he has to be better for them to. He has to give them some relief because it's too much on Jimmy right now. And I think Bill had a good game. I think I would say maybe closer to decent, only because I know the foul trouble early on. But it took too long for it to feel like Bam had a presence for me. But when he did, it came on strong and it was necessary, but something I would have liked earlier.
I think the foul trouble fucked him up, but I thought he had a good game.
He started off good too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did, and then the foul trouble killed him.
Yeah.
But
and I just looked it up real quick. Looked it up. Embiid had 15 in the first, and he had finished with 24. They solved him. They took that away.
They really did. I thought the fronting. Yeah. I thought they did a really good job. And then all of a sudden, James Harden woke up from his fucking coma.
Role players play better at home.
You know what? Brass pointed something out about the fucking 3-point shooting. 34%, 38% on the season, 34% versus Atlanta, and now I think we're at like 26% against the Philadelphia 76ers. And I'm watching my entire fucking timeline. My entire timeline. Play Duncan. Where's Duncan? Where's Duncan? Play Duncan. You motherfuckers all fucking season. This motherfucker's trash. He makes too much goddamn money. $90 million. $90 million. It's too much fucking money. That's why you pay a nigga $90 million. Because he can fucking shoot. You can't shoot without this motherfucker. Listen, I understand why you, oh no, you need 34%, blah, 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 40%. Yo, my man can shoot on the road. It is hard for role players to make threes on the road. You guys were killing this motherfucker all year when he was worse at home than he was on the road. You're in Philly for 2 games. You can't make a goddamn three. Jimmy Butler's leading your team in 3-point shooting. Why the fuck do you think you need Duncan? 27 points in the first fucking game, and he doesn't see the fucking court for the rest of the fucking playoffs. Listen, I don't know how much Spo knows more than I do. I don't know if that motherfucker was stealing laptops in the fucking locker room. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he got a credit card fraud shit on the side. I don't know what's happening with Duncan. But you fucking Heat fans, all year I'm watching you. The same motherfuckers was calling this nigga trash. Now y'all asking for fucking Duncan. Now y'all begging for fucking Duncan. Spacing doesn't matter. Yes, it fucking does. Why your offense looks like trash.
So do you want the people to want to be right, or do you want the people to want to see the team win off?
I say fuck them. Fuck them.
I appreciate the honesty.
I don't care about being rational no more. I'm getting yelled at all year for rooting for a Heat player.
Kenny, me and you been getting shit all goddamn season for saying like
and all we were saying is
40% 40% 3-point shooter is valuable. That's why you paid the motherfucker $90 million. All of a sudden, where's Duncan?
And all we were saying all year was we don't really care right now about a slump. It's about what he's capable of doing, and you may need that shooting. And all year, and that makes complete sense to people who make sense, right? And I got people yelling at me for an entire year. Nah, you got to trade him for some fucking
Christian Wood.
Christian Wood. What's Anton Jameson doing right now? We need to afford that bad. Christian Wood is like a worse defender than Alphonse Sidney, and like people were begging for him. I'm good on that.
I
But you
move
know
my
what?
feet. I move my feet.
If Duncan doesn't play
Christian
again,
wouldn't.
if Duncan doesn't play again, and the Heat end up losing, I'm not gonna be happy about it. But I am gonna just like laugh at a few people, and like it's gonna be a good time. And I hope Duncan goes and sits on that bed like Amber Heard, and I hope it's not solid.
Like I just think like I don't know if it would have made a difference. We have no idea. We're not saying that if Duncan played they would have won, but like they're so fucking cold. It's 2 games in a row. I don't understand why you don't try him out for a little bit. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Brass, and I feel you on that, and that's my thing. Like I don't know why he's not playing. Like, I'm not the X's and O guy. I don't know why. I think they could use some spacing. Mm-hmm. I think they could use a motherfucker that could hit a wide open 3, right? I think with Kyle back, first of all, Kyle can't fucking move. Sit him. But I don't understand why you're playing, and this is my opinion, why you're playing Kyle, Vic, and Gabe. That's 3 guys out there that, yes, are good point of attack defenders, and they can play the point. But like you're playing way too many guard. Like you need 3-point shooting. You need guys they respect. You need guys that move off the ball. Like Duncan would be running these motherfuckers around. The rest of I'm not shitting on Gabe, Vic, or Kyle, but they don't provide the kind of movement and spacing that Duncan does on offense. Like nobody is afraid of Gabe as a shooter. Nobody's afraid of Vic as a shooter. Like, but I understand you need to play one of those guys at all times, but why are we playing all 3 of them? Right? To me, I just don't get it. I'm not the X's and O guy. I'm the loudmouth. That's it.
Well, what was interesting to me too is, especially last game. So I understood it throughout the playoffs because Max had been so great defensively, and he has been better than Duncan had been, but last couple of games, Max hasn't really given you anything on that end. And so you're not really losing a whole bunch in this very moment. Just trying Duncan out, seeing what he can give you.
But Kenny, I'm not even talking about playing him over Max.
Right.
Yeah, don't play him over Max. Just give him some minutes and see what he can do. And then if he's better than Max, then okay, then
throw him in for the last few minutes when Max fouled out.
Something.
You know what I mean? Just warm him up for the next game.
Victor Oladipo got 32 minutes and Gabe Vincent got 10. There's not 12 minutes in there somewhere for Duncan Robinson. You give him 5 minutes. If he can't hit shit, you sit him on the bench. If he gives you 5 minutes, he gives you a little bit of something, you ride him for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I just think like there are 2 sides to that whole point of the argument. I don't even want to be zoomed in because I don't want to get into it. But like, I'm not disagreeing with you that there's not space. And yeah, right. Like you need people that can generate space. And I had an issue with those 3 guards, not even necessarily for shooting, but they also definitely played a part. But I don't see why there couldn't have been room. Like you said, give him 5 minutes if he's shooting well, if he's giving you something, if he's giving you presence inside and he's not fouling. Hell, at least he has another 6 fouls that he can go and bring Joel down. So yeah, you give him some run. And if he gives you something, you ride with him. If you don't, you don't. But yeah, I don't want to reduce the whole Duncan conversation to 1 or 2 things, but I understand exactly what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
I would like to give some props to Vic because Vic was good tonight. I'm very impressed with how he has come around and how he's integrated himself. When he came in, his first his first game with the team this year was amazing. It was great, and then the few games after that, he was like a dog slipping around on tile. You know what I mean? He just couldn't fucking find his footing with the team. It just wasn't gelling. But he's been playing. He's a very intelligent basketball player, and I think that came out tonight. And when he can calm down a little bit, collect himself. He's doing really good shit out there. Great defensively, and he can still be an offensive player. I don't know how he really ended up with tonight. But
I want to talk about this comment.
I don't even necessarily disagree with that.
We just needed to make our open shots.
Open shots.
You know who makes open shots?
Not him. He shoots better. He shoots better from contested. But
we need both.
We try him out.
Yeah, but
I'm with you that time.
Yeah. Okay.
Frankie, talk. What's my mind here?
Brass, can you bring up that Kenchi comment right there?
Yep.
Vic was bad. Too much ISO and -12. Sorry, Brass. You're
I
wrong.
don't think
Sorry.
Vic was great tonight.
We
Sorry,
can't
box
look at
score watcher, dipshit.
He wasn't great. He was also
He
in a
wasn't
lot of those
great.
bench lineups where they couldn't get anything going, and they would zone up, and the ball gets forced to anywhere. It gets forced to the open hand, and it's not you can't dominate the ball when you're going against the zone. And Vic was just a faction of that. Like, can you say Max was good? Max was a +2 team high. And Max is fucking awful.
Yeah, he's bad.
A single game plus minus doesn't always tell the story. Vic wasn't great, absolutely not, but he was one of the few guys who came aggressive, came ready to play offensively.
He attacked Joel.
Yeah, he attacked Joel. Got to the line 10 times, 15 points, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Like, he had a good game, a solid game. Like, he can play better than this.
He played a shitload of minutes. We didn't know at the end of the season if he was going to be able to integrate himself into fucking playoff minutes. People were seriously questioning that. My point is, he played, did you say 35 minutes tonight?
32.
32. Okay, 32 minutes tonight. I'm happy with what I'm seeing. I'm very happy with what I'm seeing with him.
So the thing with Vic too that we have to put in perspective, he was phenomenal defensively all night. And we could forget that because James Harden went off in the fourth quarter, even though those were contested threes, and there's just not much you can do about it anyway.
Yeah,
good. There was still good defense. Shots just went in.
Yeah, one of those was really good coverage by Bam. It was just
like he just couldn't miss, and that happens when players are that caliber. I'm not going to take it away from him, but I'm also not going to take away what Vic did defensively tonight. I can't say he's bad just because of the field goal percentage and the plus minus. Plus minus is a very misleading thing at times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One run can turn it around. Kyle was leading plus minus the whole time, and he was on a bad run at the end. Like that.
Yeah,
plus minus is a good stat when it proves my point.
Right.
When there's a large enough sample size, yeah. But like, come on, like who's the Maxey was their leader in plus minus? Like, was he the best player on the court tonight? No. Like Joel had the same plus minus as Niang. Like, what are you guys talking about? Like, are we gonna do this?
Motherfucking Niang. God damn it, man.
I don't. Oh man.
How you look?
I don't like the guy's face.
I can't now.
Say it.
Yeah.
Nah, I can't because like the things that came to my mind are like a little too far, and like too risky. I don't want to like.
Motherfucking Niang got grease on his jersey. He got grease on his jersey.
He'd be eating Philly cheesesteaks on the bench.
Oh,
definitely cleans up before
got
he shows
cheese
up
whiz fucking stains on his shorts.
He gets the grease from the sandwich, puts it in his hair, and gets on.
They were like, "Oh, what the last game? Niang got a little nasty in him. Yeah, he nasty. Motherfucker, probably smells like shit."
He does look like the cornerstone owner that gives you the discounts though, so I appreciate it.
He out here selling liquor to kids. That's what Niang is.
His name is George. Like, come on, bro.
He selling Lucy's at his corner store. It's cool.
George Niang called the cops on George Floyd. Anyway,
God damn.
Christ.
Bond's breakdown.
Oh, hold up. Let me break it down so it can forever and consistently be broke.
Man, I love the like Mike Shorts.
What, Kenny? What'd you say?
I love the like Mike Shorts.
Shut up. So I want to talk a lot about kind of what Joel does for them in the post and how he probably should have done more. And I understand saying that we solved him, but the problem is that you have to put so much into solving him that does loosen up things elsewhere. So then you have someone else as dynamic as James who can get going. But
Bond, let me ask you something though. So you have to put all that attention on Joel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that one of the things offensively that a guy like Duncan could do for Miami? Where you have to put a Danny Green or somebody running around chasing Duncan, opening things up a little bit. Because right now, every time I look at the offense, they're stagnant as shit.
So I agree with you that he provides that same type of thing. I think teams have started kind of figuring out how they want to switch out and cover on the Duncan. And the thing is, he creates that for you, like further away from the basket. Joel's gonna but even that opens things up closer. Like it does help, and he does do that for them. I do think it's a little bit different though.
It's a little bit.
I think Duncan could have played. I don't think he
Embiid,
should have not.
Embiid's an MVP and Duncan is Duncan.
Go ahead, Brass. So just some of what went into defending him. So I thought the stat was interesting that essentially Miami is one of the better teams at not allowing teams to get into the paint or the ball to get into the paint. But once it's in there, we're not great at preventing it from being a bucket. So James is bring it back, Brad. So yeah, Bam switched out on James, which that's containing, right? That's keeping the ball quote unquote out front. The problem is though, when you move it around, pause. Now fucking Embiid run it one more time, because Tyrese, even if he wanted to, he had a back cut and that whole left side was open. If Tyrese wanted to slip right in here, he probably could have paused. Joel shouldn't have slipped. He should have sat, opened himself up. He would have found himself open even higher. Doesn't matter though. The ball gets worked around. He's big enough. He's large enough to leverage Jimmy out of there. Go ahead. And then that's a good direct pass. In there, what you saw is a bit later that he was posting higher and creating even more space, but some things with angles got a little bit wonky. You can go to the next one. What's happening here? So, all right, we have Vic, PJ, this dive, pause. So Vic gets on this top side of him. Joel can't sit there because 3 seconds, so he's gonna move himself out. Go ahead. And so now, pause. So now, again, a poor post player. If he brings his left foot, if he locks and kind of seals Vic in and makes his right hand his target hand, he has an angle, he has an alley to the basket. Max would have to commit even further, and then Tyrese is open under the basket. But they clear out this whole corner, so all you have to do now is you just get it to him in that space. Go ahead. That still forces Max to come over. That still makes Kyle come. And so, yeah, that's where you go into Joel not being a good passer, or he and his post players, one more time, Brad, he and his post players or his guards not having like good post chemistry. I talked about it a little bit kind of this timeline with Caleb. Like Caleb does some stuff for us out of the post, but he's not a post player. And so moving in post areas might be a bit foreign. So again, he's here, that's a seal. And then you can go to the next one. That's just bad communication, but they had looks. This one, pause. This one was a little bit of fundamental stuff. This was just a lot of bad closeouts that led to really good interior passing and a layup. Go ahead. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is this pause right here. So Joel again, Jamie's top side. James has that lob right here. Play it one more time. James has this lob to Joel because he's sealed. And like I said earlier on, Frankie out like he's making space, and so yeah, they figure it out, but it requires a lot to kind of go at because he is so large. If he were a better post player, his target hand should have been his left hand. He shouldn't have even needed to do all that tussling to get that off. You can go to the next one. This is the one I think that it was just some poor feet, poor closeouts. So Max is going to jump into this. He's off. Tyler opens up here, bad. Kyle overcommits, bad, and now we just have easy little dump offs there. And then go ahead, this should be last one. Just again, kind of with Joel and what he could pause. Jimmy, so now Jimmy's super high. He's fronting him, and that's what you're talking about. He's posting like really high up, but that creates space and issues back there. So he kind of has that paint area. Open. Go ahead. But now as the ball moves, he shifts, and that shifts the opening. And that's good post work down there by Tobias. You can bring me out Tobias, who someone is a bigger guard and also kind of like a small forward. And so I think, he's just big and he's dynamic and he forces a lot of attention. And so once you commit to having to do that, because you do have to stop that depending on what you're comfortable with giving up, you open up a bunch of stuff. Sorry, that was kind of lengthy.
No, it was good. Frankie, speaking of Embiid, a lot of people in the chat are like, Keith's minutes were terrible. Keith was trash. Part of the problem, I think, with Keith is if you're going to play him, put him in the game plan, and don't put him in because you haven't involved him in the rotation, your two starting front court members are in foul trouble.
Yeah.
Like, you literally did not play any backup big minutes at all tonight. Like, Vic was the first guy off the bench for Bam as a backup. Like, I just think if you use Keith earlier and involve him in the game plan, maybe you don't have 4 fouls on Bam, or you don't have 5 fouls on PJ. To me, like, you don't have Dedmon. Let's come up with a plan to have a real backup big. Vic coming in for Bam and moving PJ to the 5, that early in the game, of course PJ's going to have foul trouble.
Yeah, you need offensively to be able to space the floor if PJ is going to be the 5, and he's hesitating on open looks, and he only shot like 1 of 4 from the game from 3. He's going through that stretch where he's struggling a little bit, and that doesn't really open anything up for him. With Jimmy driving, that's where it comes all the offense. With the spacing, that was the whole point of playing small. You get the spacing, you get more shooters on the court. You can play 5 out or Jimmy as the 4 out, 1 in, and they didn't really do that. I didn't think Mark even looked that bad. Obviously, the block is going to get the attention, but he was in the right spots most of the time. And it's a small sample size. Like I would have tried to get him in earlier. I would have liked getting him in a lot earlier in the first half, and instead of forcing him in when your team's already down and they have to play a certain style that he's not really in shape for or in game speed for. I think that's going to be a big adjustment in game 5, excuse me. I think he's going to probably get in earlier, and I mean, if Dedmon's healthy, they said it was a head cold, if you didn't hear, so he probably is back next game, and but I would still try to integrate him next game, because Siobhan's been talking about it all season. He's a weapon against the zone, and they're still struggling against the zone.
Dedmon hasn't been very fucking good.
Exactly.
They didn't give Keith enough time to look bad. He had last
like 3 minutes,
37 seconds of the third.
It wasn't even fucking fair. It was
a +2.
Yeah, I think what happened is he got his shot blocked, and people we got to stop taking tiny sample sizes of stuff and just blowing it up into a whole thing. He got his shot blocked. He didn't have bad minutes.
Yeah, it was because it was so vicious. They said it was a violent block.
It was a violent block. I thought that was racist. Like some shit George Niang would say.
Fucking Paul Reed getting on my nerves again.
Paul Revere.
Fucking, they call him B-Ball Paul. That guy fucking sucks.
That can't be his real nickname.
That, I swear to God, that I follow Sixers fans, unfortunately, and they say
call him what?
Why?
B-Ball Paul.
That's so trash.
He can't dribble, right? You can. Your name can't be B-Ball if you can't dribble.
Why can't it sound like a nigga can't dribble?
Oh, you might as well just call me Tennis Alf.
Post his picture, Brass, from ESPN. Post his picture, please. Oh my God.
Okay, hang on.
He looks. First of all, he kind of looks like Bow Wow in this picture, but he can't see for the shit.
That's such a trash nickname.
B-Ball Paul. His face is like, what? What'd you call me? Shit.
Oh man.
What did he do tonight? That's the one.
2 points.
Be more
2 points. He's saying we could beat this team. We could.
You want to know what the worst thing is, man?
What's that?
We lost on a Friday. If we had won on a Sunday, we could have listened to sports radio, listened to podcasts. We would have been straight.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's I gotta be off Twitter. I gotta small. Kenny, you need to get all the way the fuck off Twitter.
I stopped replying to people, but I don't want to tweet about.
Nigga, you say that shit.
Cyber masochist.
3:00 in the morning, I'm gonna get up to urinate because I'm old, and I'm gonna check my Twitter. You gonna be still fucking arguing with fucking.
That's why Kenny's Wi-Fi never works, because he's wasting it up arguing with all these.
And that's
fuckers.
coming from Alf.
Kenny's Wi-Fi don't get no sleep. That's why it's always.
Hey, no, we can't let Alf do this, because Alf came to us a month ago, hey guys, I had a revelation. I'm not like that anymore. Alf argues more than us still.
Come on, Kenny's Wi-Fi got Thibs minutes.
Yes, it needs.
Look at this guy.
What?
Why? What's wrong with him?
He's squinting and shit. He's got a little Jameis Winston meets Bow Wow.
Paul.
Meets Bow Wow. Frankie, that's racist.
Yeah, that feels racist.
There's a Bow Wow element to that shit right there.
You can't tell me he does not look like Bow Wow.
He looked like one of Nick Cannon's illegitimate kids.
That's closer than Bow Wow.
I don't know. He's singing "Fresh as I'm Is" right now.
he do tonight? +2.
He looked like he stole a bag of chips from George Niang's store.